Okay guys, you've got your As You Like It poster designed and everything's looking good. Now it's time to send it off to the printer, which in this case is me. Here are the specifications. This is everything I'm looking for. It needs to be 8.5 by 11, 0.125 bleed, 0.25 minimal margins. It can be more. The minimum photo resolution is 200 ppi. No disproportionate scaling of type or objects, and no spelling errors. I want you to set up a pre-flight with all of this information, package it, and compress it. Make sure you don't add package to your packaged file. When you add that, it can't be opened. Okay, so to get all the points on the project, all the details need to be readable. That's all the time and the website and all that information. There should be bleed and trim on your PDF file. Inside your InDesign file, I should see a pre-flight that is set up for printing and is error-free. All of your graphics should be high quality and 200 ppi or more. I want to see your typography set up with hierarchy with style sheets, so however you want to name it, large, medium, small type, 1, 2, 3, H1, however you want to do it. I want to see your style sheets set up. And then, of course, I want the design to be aligned with the meaning of the play. So hopefully you've done your research and you've chosen visuals and colors and treatment that reflect the meaning of the play. Do all that and you'll get 60 points. I'm going to walk you through this with a poster example so that you'll know exactly how to pull all this off. This is my design and I'm looking at it and it's aligned with the meaning and all the information is definitely readable. Looks like there's some margins. Everything looks good. And when I look down here at the pre-flight, this is always running unless you tell it otherwise. The basic working pre-flight profile is on and I have no errors, which is great, except for that basic pre-flight is not enough, not for a print file. Really, you need to set up your own. I've erased mine so that we could set up a brand new one together. All you need to do is go to the pre-flight panel. You can go down here to get it, or you can go to Window, Output, Pre-flight. And that brings up this panel. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a brand new profile by defining it. And that's when we get this panel. And we're going to hit the plus to start a new pre-flight, and I'm just going to call this printing. This is a pretty standard printing pre-flight. Now that we've named it, let's go through this. For the links, we want to know if links are missing or modified. Inaccessible URL links, we're not going to really need that because this isn't a digital published document. We're not worried about the color space because we're going to export this for printing. Image and objects. Now this is where it gets important. Image resolution. We want it at least 200. Grayscale or black and white, doesn't matter, 200. That's the minimal. Hopefully more, but at least that. We do not want our visuals accidentally scaled. You know, if you don't hit the shift key and you size your visual, it could go wonky, but you might not notice it. So we want pre-flight to help us catch that. We also want to know if we're on target with our bleed and trim. So the live area, which is essentially the amount of space from the edge, is 0.25, which I will call the margin. Usually the margin is at least that for your live area, meaning nothing should go beyond that or it could possibly get trimmed off. So we want there to be live and bleed. We don't want overset text. That means that you've run out your text box, your container has gotten too small and some of the type is missing, but you can't see it. So we definitely want a warning about that. We're not going to worry about paragraph style and character style overrides because that gets complicated. Non-proportional type scaling. We also want that. We don't want any type that's been elongated or squished. So this will help us find that. You could do minimum type size, but I'm not too worried about it with this one. And then we want to set up our bleed right here. So 0.125 is always the minimum bleed. You can go beyond that all you want. We don't need a slug. That's just empty space. And so that's it. That's what we're looking for. Now let's see how our poster does. So this basic working profile, no errors. But that's because it's way too easy. Now let's try the printing. Now we have errors. We have 3 errors in this file. And the great thing about the pre-flight is that it will not only tell you what the errors are, but it will help you fix them. It says that my Tarzan image, the PNG, is non-proportionally scaled. Uh-oh. Must have accidentally done that. Sure enough, it is 48% wide, but 49% high. Oops. So now I fixed it. It is 49 and 49. So that just goes away. But it also says there's a bleed and trim. An object's edge might be too close to the trim. Okay, let's see where that is. Oh, it's this. Let's go to, we're in preview mode. Let's go out of preview. Oh, sure enough, this background doesn't go all the way to the bleed line. Okay, fix that. Now it says we have one more error. Non-proportional type scaling. This is what makes me the most crazy. It says that some of my type, the word Tarzan, which has 6 characters, is 106% wide. Oops. So let's highlight the word Tarzan, go over to the characters panel, and sure enough, 94%. That should always be at 100%. And it makes it too big, so it can't fit, but that's all right. We'll just make it a little bit smaller. And there we go. Now we are error-free. The only other thing that I want to do is I want to move this type at the bottom so that the baseline is right within my margins. So when I open your file in InDesign, this is what I want to see. I want to see all the type within the margin, and I want to see your paragraph styles. You can see that my small type is this, my medium type is the credits, and my large type is the time and date. I didn't put style sheets on this top piece because it never appears again. It's the same type, but there's no style sheet for it. It's a one-off. Okay, so if you have all those guides and all those margins, then you're good to go. Now we're just going to package it. And there's not much you have to do here. It does give you kind of a good idea of what's going on with your type and your font, but there's nothing you really need to do. Just package it. And we want all of these things checked. We want to copy the fonts, the linked graphic, a PDF for print, and also an IDML in case someone opens it with another version. And that's it. That's going to package it. Now when I go to the folder and open it up, you can see that there's the InDesign file, the IDML, and this Tarzan. Let's look at this Tarzan file, and there is the trim and bleed on that. Really important. So now all I have to do is compress it, and there it is. Hand that in. I'll take a look, make sure that your file is all ready to go to print, and then you're good to go.